Why are you being weird? Oh, I'm the princess. Yes, And it is good to be me with all of my palaces and wagons of gold things and dresses for every hour of the day. This is Rebooty and the Beast, a podcast in two parts. I'm Matt Molinaro.
And I'm Ed Burke. In the first episode, we review an original piece of media, and in the subsequent episode, we discuss the reboot, and today is the reboot.
You bet it is. It's a whole new world, some might say.
Some might say it's a whole bad world, and I would be one of those people.
Some might say it's a sick, sad world. Shout out to
I
Daria.
almost said that. So this is the 2019 version of Aladdin, starring Will Smith,
Naomi Scott. Also, Naomi Scott, just gonna shout her out from Power Rangers already. Let's see. I might be mispronouncing his name. Is it Mina Masood?
That's what I was going to pronounce it as, yes.
Okay. And then we both know Jafar, Marwan Kenzari. And I just, of all people I have to just shout out, Nasim Pedrad. Do you like her from SNL? And she's from other things too, but I mainly had been introduced to her from SNL. She plays Dahlia.
I'm not familiar with her, but
I love her. So I was very excited to see her in this movie, and I will say she was the quote. So
also Alan Tudyk plays Iago, and I do love Alan Tudyk.
I don't think I know him. What's he look like?
You'd recognize him if you Googled him. He was in Dollhouse. He's Resident Alien.
Yes. Okay.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Is Resident Alien good, by the way?
I've heard it's good. I haven't watched it though.
Me too. Okay. Yes, I know him. He's very cute. Also, speaking of cute, Billy Magnuson plays Prince Anders.
Yeah, and who is he?
Okay, he was just in something we watched.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, he was in the new Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, something you watched. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you were saying for the podcast.
Sorry, no. He was we probably will in the future. So he was just in the new Lilo and Stitch, but he was also in a bunch of random things. He was in Into the Woods, if you like Broadway, Game Night, which was a great underrated movie. Get Shorty. I didn't know he was in that. Made for Love on HBO Max he's in, which I heard is really good. That's the one where they like make the robot girl for love and then she kind of breaks out of the AI of it.
Oh, interesting.
I heard it's good. Anyway, but he's in it, and he's always funny in things.
I like, he looked familiar to me, but looking at his filmography, I'm not 100% sure that I've seen him in anything.
Yeah, he's got one of those faces. He almost kind of looks a little bit like Alan Tudyk.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, so that's the cast we got here for the 2019 Aladdin.
Yeah. Do you have the summary?
I do. So you've not seen this before, right? This was your first time? I've
never seen. This was my first time.
Okay. I had seen this in the movie theater when it came out.
Oh, wow. You spent money on it. Okay.
I sure did. I think this was the last movie I saw before the pandemic.
Oh, dang. Okay. That would make sense.
Because it was 2019, and I remember we were all going to go see Hustlers.
Oh, yeah.
And then we couldn't get it together for some reason. We saw some other movie before that with the dog. I'll never forget what Vivian.
Oh, yeah, the Viola Davis movie. Fuck. I just told somebody that story the other day.
That's so funny. Yeah, I always remember that story, but this was the last movie I saw before the pandemic, and I remember, I think I nodded off a little bit in the movie theater, and I think I kept it to myself because I don't like to do that, but I think I did. I remembered it in the broad strokes, and I remember the main feelings I had, but I was really excited to see this again. And I think Davey felt the same way, because we watched it again together, and we had seen it together in the movie theater.
That's really funny.
Okay, well, let's get into it. We both loved the last one. Let's start off with that.
We did. What's the summary?
It says, Aladdin, a kind thief. There's way too many effing commas already. This first sentence has 1, 2, 3, 4 commas in it.
Oh, great.
And the next one has the equal amount. All right. Aladdin, a kind thief, woos Jasmine, the princess of Agrabah, with the help of Genie. When Jafar, the Grand Vizier, tries to usurp the king, Jasmine, Aladdin, and Genie must stop him from succeeding.
Do you want me to tell you that it's pronounced usurp?
Oh, thank you. I think we've done this before on other podcasts. This is one of those words I've only ever really read.
Yeah.
How do you say one who does that?
Usurper.
Usurper. I would have said usurper.
I think I remember pronouncing it that way when I first learned it, too, because I learned it by reading it.
I had to ask you that question because my defense for not knowing how to pronounce the word was going to be saying, is Nick pronounced usurper or usurper? All right, well, let's see if I remember that for the future. But regardless, there's 12,000 commas in the summary. We get it. Yeah. We don't need to know who everyone is. It's a summary.
I also just have to share that I literally let out a scream when I saw the runtime for the movie.
Oh, I was also... I mean, I shouldn't be surprised by this time because we're in the age of long movies. And outside of Wicked, I disagree. But, yeah, I was like, how is this going to be 2 hours? I remembered the movie and I was like, what did they add? What did they add that makes this 2 hours? Why?
Nothing good, I'll tell you that.
I feel like they took things away and somehow it was longer.
They took away good things and added unnecessary things.
It was weird. Well, it was weird. It was another Arabian Night.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
That was a great segue, wasn't it?
It was great. Yeah. This movie doesn't open with the kind of man, selling his wares and telling the story. By the way, I saw a meme just the other day that said, I realized the other day that the story of Aladdin, like none of it actually happened, and it was all a story to get you to buy the lamp.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's so funny. I've literally never heard that theory. Anyway.
Listen, that's a hot take.
It's a hot take. I agree. So this one doesn't start out with that. It starts out on boats. And I will say the boats looked pretty.
Yeah, the boats looked pretty. Most of the landscape work, whatever you call that, I don't know how much of it was real and how much of it was CGI, but most of the landscapes and the setting I liked.
I will say that I think the natural settings looked good.
Yes.
Almost everything else was filmed on a set in London, I think. And it looks like it.
I'll tell you where I noticed it not looking so great for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, the boats looked good, and we got Will Smith and then a mysterious woman, faceless woman, and 2 kids, and we're learning this. Tell us the story. I love kids screaming at the beginning of a movie.
Oh, it's the best.
Love it. Whining.
The whole thing to me is Will Smith's American accent sounds so out of place in the context of everyone else in this movie.
Yeah, and can we just talk about Will Smith as the character, or you want to wait until he arrives?
As the genie?
Yeah.
Let's wait till he arrives.
Yeah, let's wait. Yeah, because we're already, in this movie, we're not burying the lead. Is it the genie or not? From the beginning, we know Will Smith is cast as the genie, so we're already okay, what's going on? You know what I mean?
So he tells the kids the story of Aladdin, the princess, and the lamp.
Mm-hmm. And that's how we get into the song Arabian Nights. And he does a little don't make me sing kind of moment, which was funny, but out of place.
And I'm just going to say this. Will Smith's not a great singer.
No. And I wrote already my first note, and I'm going to just make a note later on about the singing in general, outside of a few people. But no. And Will Smith is a recording artist.
He is. I mean, he's more of a rapper than a singer. I know
he's a rapper, but he has a understanding of what his vocal ability is.
Correct.
And how to use your voice to your advantage. Listen, there are singers out there that are not great vocalists, and they are excellent recording artists.
Agreed.
Because they know what they can do. And this, for me, was not the way to do what you can do with singing in this movie.
No.
It's talk singing a lot.
A lot of talk singing. But
just
not rapping,
just
sing. Kind of talk singing. Yeah. My literal notes say, he sings the opening song, but it's bad. And then my next note is, I'm already hateful.
I wrote Arabian Nights, very lackluster. And speaking of lackluster, they do this effect. This is the opening sequence. So they're showing sweeping landscapes and as the song's playing, and they're introducing you to every character in a very small way, a little view of them, whatever.
Yeah.
Almost like you're riding a carpet. But as this is all happening, they're the names of the actors are coming on the screen and the word Aladdin.
Yes.
And this really cheesy sand effect.
Yeah. Kind of like Jumanji.
Yeah, but like it's 2019.
I know.
I was like, this
I
is
will
embarrassing.
say,
How did this look on the screen?
while this was all happening, I did notice that the choreographer was Jamal Sims, and I was very excited.
Listen, I did not notice that, but I loved me some Jamal Sims.
Me too. And his talents, I will say, were not on full display in this movie.
I thought a lot of the dancing was great.
Okay, yeah, the dancing was certainly stronger than the singing for the most part.
Yeah, the dance, like the group dance numbers,
Yeah, those
I
were
thought
good.
those were well choreographed. And
Yeah.
Davey and I were even like, I hope this is correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it was, anyway, yeah, I loved, you know me, I love me some Jamal Sims.
Yeah. So we kind of immediately cut to the Cave of Wonders and the dragon voice and the tiger, lion voice. Jesus
Oh my.
Christ. It was the only voice from the original movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same guy.
Okay, I read that the voice of the Cave of Wonders is also the voice of Abu and the of Raja.
Oh, yeah.
That he did all three.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
We kind of just get not really a lot of suspense. It sort of just immediately goes to him crushing somebody that you see them only from like an aerial view shot.
Yeah.
And it says like seek the diamond in the rough. It's
Yeah,
very very like non-suspense setting.
Yes, it's like a very quick look at here's the three people, and then this one's gone. And the Cave of Wonders, I have to say, it's underwhelming.
Extremely underwhelming.
In the cartoon, it comes out of the earth and forms from the sand into the head, and then crushes into like a dune. And in this, if they don't show it forming, which fine, maybe it would look cheesy. But why is it like coming out of a wall? Like it's a cave you encounter in like a 2D video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Cornball.
It looks like, you remember Super Mario 2, the bird faces that you walk through to go to the next level? It's like that, but it's a lion face.
Yes. Embarrassing. And also, speaking of things not looking great, Abu
looks like shit. Looks like absolute shit.
I was like, did I not know? I will say they hide Abu a lot in the movie. Abu is like way less of a character in the movie.
Way less of a character, thank God.
Thank God, not because I don't like Abu in the original, but because I think he looks so unsettling, especially when they make him do like specific facial expressions.
Remember the monkeys from Jumanji?
Yes.
He doesn't look much better than those monkeys that were like 20 years prior CGI effects.
Yeah, not really. There's a weird sort of like human hybrid face they're doing there.
Yeah, it's yucky.
It's bizarre. So yeah, we get introduced to Abu.
And we see Aladdin for the first time. And
Yes.
he's hot. He's still hot.
He is still hot. He's strangely not as hot as the cartoon, but he is still hot.
I agree. I will say I read something about, for some reason, they decided to like make all of the costumes less revealing, and which is funny because people are like, Mina Masood apparently is like a total gym rat.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody was like, let us see Aladdin's abs.
Yes. Hello.
I would sign that campaign.
Same.
Okay, so Abu steals a necklace. Aladdin is fencing it to get some dates, like the fruit, and he gives the dates to some starving kids. Blah blah.
Yeah, instead of the bread.
Yeah,
Already a downgrade?
already a downgrade. We don't see the delicious bread.
No.
We do see a woman in the market giving some kids some bread, and the vendor is, of course, this is like the bread's giving the kid an apple scene, where he's like threatening to cut off her hand. But can I just say, whoever this actor is who played the vendor, horrendous acting. Really awful acting.
It was pretty bad.
And we don't get any of the fun, like, she thinks the monkey is the sultan, or like,
No.
hello, doctor, to the camel. Like, all of that charm has been stripped out of the movie.
Completely. Like, Jasmine steals the bread, cluelessly, again, not understanding how money works. And then Aladdin comes in and does some kind of corny, like, chase this, chase that, run with the monkey, dumb thing.
Yeah.
There's no fun at all. He's way more like like a criminal in this, I guess.
Yeah. And this is where we get the One Jump song. For some reason, Jasmine's around.
Yes, and this one they're running together and whatever, but...
Yeah. And
Wow.
ironically, at several times, he's just like strolling along, and it feels so soulless.
Without a doubt. I was like, what is this is supposed to be a high energy escape scene. Like, lots of tension. Oh, darting around. And it felt like I was watching like a training video for like teenagers doing parkour.
Yes.
It was like, here's what you're going to do, kids. I'm going to show it to you slowly.
Yeah.
You're going to bounce against this wall, slowly move again. It was so bad. It was, and the song, they paced up the song, they paced down the song.
Yes.
And they split it up. There's random lyric changes for no reason.
Correct.
I think they're overdoing things to try to make it, like, updated.
Yeah.
And they're, like, overcorrecting. There's random lyric changes that just change the rhythm of the song and don't really fix anything that needed to be fixed. And, hot take, I'll just say it, I don't know why they changed... If they wanted to change the way the characters looked, who scream out that, like, you know, they love Aladdin and still I think it's rather tasty...
Mm-hmm.
You could change the way they look, but why are they like teenage girls now?
I know.
Weird. Weird. Teenage girls. And the rather tasty woman, who I could not wait to see, was fine.
Fine. Yeah. Also, the actor who plays Aladdin has a serviceable voice, but there's like none of the passion or like urgency of the vibe of the song. It's just he's just singing the words.
Barely.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just sing.
Yeah.
Just
or
sing.
if you're gonna hire an actor who isn't known for their singing, dub someone in.
It's a fucking musical.
Exactly.
Hire an actor who can sing.
Yes.
Time they exist, and and this is the thing that happens throughout this whole movie, except for Jasmine. I feel like when someone sings, and it's so effing frustrating. I said this in the Beauty and the Beast one too. It's a musical. There are musical songs. Mm-hmm. We are going into the movie expecting it. I don't need you to do some sort of weird mishmash, talk singing, have it make sense that they're singing in the moment in the scene. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's we get it. It doesn't make sense that they're singing. So stop this nonsensical talk sing, like, fitted into the scene. Like when he's running away, like the actors who he's like singing around are reacting to him singing.
Yeah.
No, there are people dancing in the street. It's not Buffy where we think there's a dancing demon.
Right.
It's very annoying. And also they don't do it for Jasmine.
Correct. And also, it's very annoying to me that there's the scene where they like leap across the roof by the boards. But unlike the movie where Jasmine catches him by surprise and is like adept, she has to be like, what do I do? And like gets scared. And then he has to convince her she can do it. And It's just like, she was already a character that we had critiqued for not having enough agency and like character to herself, and you took more of it away.
Right. You made Aladdin more of like a prince hero-y save the damsel in distress type.
Which
and
we
you
don't
made her
need.
more needing saving.
Yeah.
And also I thought when they didn't do the, oh, wise Sultan moment, I'm like, oh, maybe they just felt like they made her look dumb or something. But I'm like, no, they don't care about that.
No, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, then we cut to Jafar, who is hot and gay.
Oh, yes. Oh, he's gay?
In my mind.
Oh, I thought you meant the actor. Amen, because he is hot. And there's another actor who is just ripped, who we barely see a moment of even a wrist.
God, honestly. I will say that I really like Jafar. I like looking at Jafar.
Yeah, Jafar looks great. I like the costumes in the movie in general, by the way.
Yeah. His voice doesn't have the same like
bass.
Yeah, as the movie Jafar, as the animated movie Jafar. So he felt less threatening in this movie to me.
He did. Like the note that we saw in the trivia about Iago and Jafar's characters being switched in the cartoon from the original thing, they probably should have done that again.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
this. I feel like they made him out of control, and I was like, oh, I see why they switched that in the original, because it does make him way less menacing.
Yeah. Can we also just talk about the fact that for some reason, like there's no like, let me use the blue diamond and do the magic to find the diamond in the rough. Iago just is flying around the city and then suddenly goes diamond in the rough to Jafar to basically tell him it's Aladdin. And that's how we skip over all of that like plot point. Apparently Iago is an omniscient parrot.
Yep. And they make him
just
he looks weird too.
very weird. He does not look good.
He looks like a demon parrot.
Yes.
A parrot from
and
hell.
we'll get to the other scene later.
Oh my, don't even get me started with that one. But yeah, and then also, they got rid of the scarab.
They got rid of the scarab entirely.
I was disappointed.
I agree. It was a big bummer.
A lot of weird things they got rid of, and then yet a longer movie.
And yet a longer movie.
Oh.
So Jasmine has to go back to the palace because there's another prince coming to court the princess, and
Oh, you forgot about them, their little meet cute, where instead of her saying that she's, isn't that it? She says she's the princess in the original, right? Because she says on hand him and as like the order of the princess or whatever.
Yeah, and in this one she says she's a servant of the princess.
Yeah, she calls herself Dahlia, the servant of the princess, and that's. Oh, and also she accuses him of stealing her mom's bracelet in this one.
Yes.
Randomly, when he leaves, Abu has the bracelet, and she's like, I should have known better.
Yeah.
It's just weird choices they're making.
Yeah.
Already. Yes. So anyway, she's on her way back to go meet the suitor.
Who, he has the same lines of like, you were born a street rat, you'll die a street rat, only your fleas will mourn you. Mm-hmm. But in the tone that I just said it, like it's as though they took the first line read on every line in the movie because there was zero passion or emotion behind it. It was like, you were born a street rat, you'll die a street rat, only your fleas will mourn you.
Yes.
Everybody was like bored while they were reading their lines in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And speaking of being bored, Aladdin goes and does his reprise, which I, from the original, love. And again, it's like they have him like sort of like talk singing it, and then when he does do like a line of singing, he looks like extremely exasperated as he sings it.
Yeah.
Last time I'm gonna say it, but just fucking sing. Just sing.
So Jasmine meets the suitor, whose name is Prince Anders, who's some random white dude from Scanland. Mm-hmm. I will say Jasmine's pink dress is beautiful.
Gorge.
He gets attacked by the tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And Jafar, for some reason, like, then tries to hypnotize the Sultan and tell him to invade Shirabad, which is the country that Jasmine's mother is from.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentions this a couple of times, and I'm not quite clear why.
Right. It kept coming up, and by the end of the movie, I was like, what is the relevance of this?
Right, and it never happens. Nothing ever comes of it.
No, but it seems like it's this big plan, and they also have like random scenes where the Sultan has these the Sultan is so much more serious unnecessarily in this.
Yeah, 0% jovial.
Yeah, I read a piece of trivia. I did read a piece of trivia that the actor who played him was like, oh, I wanted him to be more than just a dad, and see if you like it. I don't.
No, I don't.
And I don't think he was just a dad in the first one. I think you just stripped him of all joy because you wanted to play some sort of like ruler of a nation. And randomly, there's this like storyline of invading this country, and that also the other storyline is that Jasmine's mother was killed, and that's why she's like being kept in the palace.
Correct.
So much more dark and unnecessary than the original. Why all of this?
Yeah.
Gross.
And is this where we get Jasmine's new song?
Yeah, because they have this argument. The guy has he's scared away by Raja. We're introduced to Jasmine's handmaid, whose name is Dahlia, that she was disguising herself as, who's played by, as I said, Nasim Pedrad, who is a totally new character, the only one, and is the only one character I really liked.
Honestly, she's literally the only ray of light in this entire movie.
Yes, she's very funny. She's the comic relief, and it felt like it would have fit in like the original movie. Also, it felt like the much needed comic relief that was missing from this. Maybe they introduced her because Abu and Iago were so underplayed.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm giving them a lot of credit, but yeah. Then we have her like talk about how they want to invade the country, and Jasmine's against this, and so you'll understand when you're older. Weird shit. And then she walks out and does her song Speechless, I think it's called.
I think that's right, because she's told to be seen and not heard.
Yes. I have feelings about this song.
Okay, tell me.
Do you?
My feelings are a new song, it's boring.
Love you. Okay, we get this song twice. We get this, and then a strangely longer reprise. This part, this first part, it's a new song, but I liked it. I actually liked it, because the first time I saw this movie, I did not like it. I was like, I feel like I'm watching like a pop song.
Yeah.
But on second watch, expecting not to like it, maybe that's why, I actually was like, okay, if I close my eyes, I could see this in a current Disney movie as like the animated movie, as like the like princess's song. I could totally see this as like a Moana type song. And I was like, okay, I'm fine with it, because Jasmine doesn't get a song in the original. And it was short. This one was short, and it didn't have magic in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was fine with this, and I was like, okay, good. I'm fine. I'm feeling okay. ... This is when we get back to Jafar, and he's just going on about being in charge, and Iago suddenly knows that there's a thief in the palace because he's a psychic.
Yeah. So, he gets caught by the guards, and
but not
suddenly
before giving the bracelet back.
Correct. Yeah.
He encounters. This is where my opening line came from.
Yes, exactly. He encounters
before
Dahlia.
He gets caught, he
as
meets
the princess.
Jasmine in her room, but she pretends to be Dahlia still. But then the actual Dahlia arrives. Jasmine is like behind Aladdin, looking at her, trying to like signal to her to pretend that she's the princess.
Yes.
And she's like, "Why are you being weird?"
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my favorite part of that scene, and the only part of that scene that I think is important.
Agreed.
He said he's gonna come back tomorrow before he gets caught.
Yeah, and then suddenly Jafar has him out in the desert, and there's this weird conversation where Jafar is like, I used to be like you, but I have more ambition, and I can help you, achieve so much more, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he says, steal an apple and you're a thief. Steal a kingdom and you're a statesman.
Yeah.
And I was like, what movie is this? Isn't this Aladdin?
It's supposed to be, supposedly. Okay, so he goes to the Cave of Wonders. Big major gripe. Major gripe. They're told to touch nothing, just like the original movie. Mm-hmm. Abu immediately lands on like coins and buckets and bowls and things, but nothing happens. So he's immediately breaking the rules and nothing happens.
They have chosen to they've chosen to be reckless with rules, and then random other rules later on, they're like, I want to half correct something that I don't need to correct.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
They
this
find
is also
carpet.
when Jasmine is like, "Oh, he didn't show. Why does this?"
Yeah.
So dumb.
Honestly, so stupid. They find carpet. They free it from under a rock.
What did you think of carpet? The way it looked.
I was so irritated by everything else happening that how carpet looked was not very important to me. But he does also, like everything else in this soulless movie, lose a good amount of the character that he had in the original.
Agreed. I thought he looked great, though. I thought he was going to look really corny based on some of the other stuff I saw, but I did like the way Carpet looked and moved and everything. But again, you lose his personality or their personality through the whole thing because nothing.
The cave also looks really boring inside, like where before you see all the like beautiful gold mountains and everything, it's just kind of like dark and glittery,
generic,
but not in a fun way.
Yeah, generic cave. Cave, and like when you're playing a video game that has a lot of rounds, and like the small caves are all going to look the same.
Yeah, very that.
until it gets to the end. And then this is also like a weird gripe. In the original, in the last scene, it's like, okay, there's the lamp up there, and then there's this big jewel, the forbidden treasure. And it's kind of weird that there's a forbidden treasure because it's all forbidden treasure. But yeah, it's like this thing that allures Abu, and he goes to it because it's like special on the side. And in this one, like Aladdin happens to kick this big red ruby down, and that's the forbidden treasure. Like how that just happened to happen as he was climbing up to get the lamp.
Yeah. So he gets the lamp. Abu grabs the ruby. Abu, no.
No, oh my god, we're gonna die. Lava.
Even the escape from the cave is very short and very boring.
Thank God it was short. I mean, it started out exciting with everything turning into lava. I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. And then it started to look a little Spy Kids, and then they got out of there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not for long. They didn't get out of there.
No.
They got to the top, and of course we have the same thing with Jafar, and he's like, give me the lamp! But he doesn't even say that as extremely. Like, this Jafar is very hot, and I'm sure he's a great actor, but it just felt very, like, strange,
flat.
His acting choice for him. He's just kind of, like, random spurts of, like, yelling out of nowhere. Like, I don't know, like a bad manager. So he, instead of pulling out a squiggly knife, he steps on his hand, and, the same thing happens. You're down there. Abu grabs the lamp, and then I don't have the lamp anymore, oh no! But he doesn't even get that reacted to that, because he's him. And then we cut to Aladdin with the lamp.
Yeah, the carpet, he asks the carpet if he knows a way out, and Aladdin gestures at the lamp, and here we see the first glimpse of Will Smith as the genie. And listen, I am just going to say something potentially controversial yet brave. Will Smith is never escaping the gay allegations in this role as the genie, because he plays the genie as a flamboyantly gay man, in my opinion.
He plays him as a, in my opinion, like a guy trying to play a gay man.
That's fair. That's
like
fair. Yes.
A guy, maybe a closeted gay man performing gayness.
Okay, fair. That's
for straight people. I'm glad you said that in a way, because I also said they really should have just cast a queer person as the genie.
I know.
That would have been so much better, because it just would have made sense, because it's a character that just begs to be played by a queer person. A character that can like transform and can perform and can impersonate and entertain and like be multifaceted and all of that. Like, that is a drag queen.
The whole time I was trying to think of, so here's my hot take that I'll point out a bunch of things throughout, but Will Smith was the wrong choice for this. He was bad and not funny and couldn't sing the songs.
No, and either he or whoever wrote him made some very strange choices for his like character, like oscillating between being the genie and being like a serious character.
Yeah.
It just felt there were strange decisions made. It felt like there were multiple decisions made. It felt like sometimes he was like this super flamboyant kind of character. Sometimes he was this like, wow, I can't believe you're acting this way.
I just want to say, as I was watching this, I was like, okay, to be fair to anyone, like, you're going to be compared to Robin Williams. Like, right. It's not a task I would want. And I was really struggling to think of like who could do as good of a job as Robin Williams. And I will tell you a piece of trivia, which is that apparently they had originally considered Jim Carrey, which I do think would have been better.
Yeah.
But do you know who actually I think would have been super solid as the genie? Kate McKinnon.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Wouldn't that be fun? I mean, she does lots of good characters. She does lots of good voices. She's very funny. She could play the deadpan aspects really well. I don't know if she can sing, but otherwise I think she would be great as the genie.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see a woman. I feel like it just needs to be someone who's known for being like over the top, who can do impressions, who can sing, and who is quippy, who's naturally a quippy, fast person. Because the reason the genie originally was so good, because so much of it was improvised and it was so natural. It was so off the cuff. And so you need someone who could do that. even if you're not going to use it. It didn't make any sense to people. And when I saw this originally, I was going in like, this was also before like any Will Smith controversy or anything like that. But I just was very rooting for him to be good in it. I was like, I never want to agree with the critics. I always want to be like, I liked it or whatever. And I remember leaving the first time being disappointed, and this time being even more. No singing, no character. And then when he did have character, you're right, it was so like uncomfortably flamboyantly gay. In a way that made me uncomfortable. I'm very flamboyantly gay.
I think, okay, the only other person I could think of off the top of my head who could maybe do well would be Maya Rudolph.
Oh, that would be a good one. That I could totally see.
Yeah.
The voices, even like just different voices. You don't even have to do specific impressions all the time. Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
But like, it was so dumb. And then they did these like very modern,
they beatboxed. There was beatboxing in Friend Like Me.
The beatboxing. Don't even get me started on the beatboxing.
So Aladdin wishes them out of the cave after the Friend Like Me is forced upon us.
Oh my God. What did you think about the way he looked, by the way, in blue?
Sometimes it didn't bother me, but then other times it was like, I really want to know if he was in the room or if he did everything in front of a green screen. Because sometimes it looked fine and other times it looked really weird and like his face was smushed into something.
Yes. The more expressive he was, the worse it looked. And so I didn't mind it so much in the close-up scenes, surprisingly, that were like just talking and listening and whatever. I kind of like would get used to it, I guess, a little bit. But the moving around and the singing and the dancing, and when they tried to do fun things, it was very like The Mask level. Speaking of Jim Carrey graphics. And this, even like the way the body changed into like a swirling blue cloud was clunky.
Agreed.
All right.
So he wishes him free. They go to the little desert oasis. They have the convo where Aladdin asks him what he would wish for, and he says freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, for some reason in this movie, you have to be rubbing the lamp while you make the wish because that matters for some reason.
So dumb. And that's the new rule of why he got out of the cave instead of the cute, sneaky, fun one.
Right, because he wasn't rubbing the lamp while he made the wish. So he still got his free wish, but he, instead of tricking him and it being funny and clever, it's just stupid.
Dumb.
So he wishes to be a prince, and Will Smith says, "I'm about to fabulize you." God, now all I can think about is how great Maya Rudolph would have been in this. God damn it. Okay.
Right? I mean, he was so underwhelming. And all the moments they tried to do with like connection between Aladdin and Genie felt like people who don't know how men are able to communicate if they aren't afraid to.
Yeah.
Like it felt like uncomfortable conversations written by super, super repressed straight men.
Yeah.
Pigeonholed into a fun comedy.
Yeah.
Fun is in quotes.
Fun is in quotation marks, yeah. So he turns Abu into an elephant. We cut back to Agrabah. And I'm just going to say something. Agrabah starts to experience like the Jurassic Park vibrations of the T-Rex approaching, as though an elephant would shake an entire city.
Yes.
It was so ridiculous.
The Jello mold is shaking.
So Prince Ali, we get the Prince Ali song. We get some beautiful choreography.
Yes.
But overall, far less impressive than the animated version.
Oh, yes, for sure. And I'm glad they kept in a lot of the like visual things like the peacocks and the camels, but it was so less fun. And the impressions were all the impressions in the song are gone. He just flat quote unquote sings them. I just don't know what the point. It just was strange.
Yeah, it was lifeless and dull.
Yeah. And it was probably the best. No, it was probably one of the better songs of the movie was this one.
Yeah.
And that's
we see him in drag, much like Robin Williams, doing the song with the women, and he's dressed up in like a harem outfit.
Yes, and except for this time he's with teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. Also, they changed some of the lines to heard your princess in the original, it's heard your princess was a sight lovely to see.
Yeah.
In this one, they changed it to heard your princess was hot. Where is she?
Yeah, I was like, why? I wrote princess lyric change. Why?
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 It makes no. It's gross. It's grosser.
It's grosser, and it's like out of character. Where are who? What?
Yeah.
What? Who in this movie is saying heard your princess was hot?
Yeah, honestly.
It just doesn't make any sense.
So then they meet the Sultan. Aladdin bumbles over the things he's trying to say, and he's like, I brought tiny spoons and yam jams, and that was mildly amusing when Jafar says yam jams.
Mm-hmm. Dahlia's like, oh, jams.
Also, yeah, yam jams. And Jasmine asks, what do you hope to buy with all your gifts? And he says, you.
What?
What the fuck?
His bumbling doesn't make any sense. It just makes him look like he's just an asshole, and he revealed it.
Exactly. So she gets pissed.
But they still invite him for dinner. It's like a very much more embarrassing scene than in the original. Like you said, mildly amusing, but Will Smith and Aladdin's conversation is from 2019, and we're in Agrabah.
Yeah.
They're in a buddy comedy every once in a while. I forget.
Yes. For some reason, Jafar tries to hypnotize Aladdin at this point, and the genie intervenes, but like doesn't really speak about it.
Right.
It's unnecessary.
I thought
the genie.
I thought when they had this happen that it was going to be a thing. Oh, the genie's the one who recognizes the staff as magical later on because he's magical. But no, there's never an explanation or a revisit.
For some reason, we do get a unnecessary subplot of the genie flirting with Dahlia because I guess he needed a love interest for some reason.
I guess so, but hey. Oh, and Genie is like as Will Smith. He's turned human now, so he's not like a blue swirling thing. He's playing his like what's his like his I don't know, servant. I guess I don't know, his main guy.
Yeah,
whatever. So he's just as Will Smith, thankfully.
Yeah, we get some kind of stupid scene between Jasmine and Aladdin over a map where she can't find his country, and like Genie magics it onto the map at the last minute, and
I did like that when he does magic onto the map and he's doing like little like symbols first, telling him to be himself instead of being the bee, which was way better. That the character cartoons all look like the cartoons in the original movie.
Agreed.
That was cute. More of
the
that.
Rest of it. More of that, please. So she tells him to like jump off a balcony, and he does, just like the original, but not as fun.
Can I say one more thing about this scene?
Yes, of course.
When Raja licked Aladdin's face, Davy goes, "A tiger's tongue is so rough, his entire flesh would have been ripped off."
Oh, that's fair.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So we get a whole new world, which is a whole boring world.
And it's the best song of the movie, and it was only... I think Jasmine's a beautiful singer.
Yeah, she was good. Everyone else, bad.
I think Aladdin's harmonies were fine in this, and it was the only song that felt sung. It was the only song that felt sung. I wasn't mad at A Whole New World. It did lack the rendition of the original one, but it was the first time in the movie that I was like, okay, this is fine.
It's fine, but also there's no chemistry between Aladdin and Jasmine in this movie, in my opinion. And
I feel like she plays it like there is, but he doesn't at all.
He doesn't, yeah.
Like she seems wooed by him, but he doesn't really seem that into her.
Agreed. He's more into Jafar, and I don't blame him.
I don't blame you. That should have been the twist that could have like really taken this to a new level.
Could you imagine how people would have lost their minds? Okay.
Wait.
Yes.
Before we get to moving on from this scene, I have maybe this is controversial. I feel like it's the same thing they did in Beauty and the Beast with Belle. They tried to empower Jasmine to have more character in this movie by making her more of a leader over people, wanting to be like the first female sultan, and being really clued into her people, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But they just have her say it a couple times, and they do nothing to actually make that a thing. In fact, they show her like being very out of touch with her people and not understanding that you can't steal bread. And like they mention her mom was killed, and it's just not ever. So it's very strange, this like storyline they try to shoehorn in and give themselves some sort of pat on the back, like they're empowering young women. The same thing they did with Belle making the effing laundry machine out of nowhere in the first movie. But it doesn't do anything. Like, she's like, I want to be a leader. I want to be the people's leader. I want to do this, but I can't. But that's it. The end.
That's it. Yeah.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. It's very dissatisfying to see a little bit of it, the beginnings of it, and then never see anything come of it.
Yeah. So they end their night with a kiss, and then, much like the animated one, Jafar captures him. Can we talk about the pushing into the ocean scene?
Oh, yeah. So, in the original, Jafar captures him and puts him in the dungeon, right?
No. He throws him into the ocean, or his men throw him into the ocean attached to that metal ball.
Right. And yes, okay, yeah. In this one, he's tied to a chair.
On, like, the edge, like, sitting in a window in the palace that apparently drops right into the ocean.
Right. Oh, yes, right. I didn't even think about the schematics of that. Yes.
Right. And then they, like, kick the chair over backwards when I don't know, Jafar asks him for something, and, he recognizes him as Aladdin, pushes him off the balcony because he says he doesn't have the lamp or something.
Yeah, and the rationale, this is another part about this. His rationale is, if I kick you off of this balcony and you have the lamp, the genie is going to save you, or you're not going to die. But if you do die, then you were just Aladdin, and it's fine. It doesn't matter anyway, and you don't have the lamp.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
What is his rationale? That if he knows what the lamp is, and he knows the lamp has a genie that grants wishes, clearly, what is his rationale that the genie is, like, not... He's tied up. He didn't give him a way to rub a lamp.
Right.
What did he think this was going to prove at all? He was just killing him.
Also, just search him. See if he has the lamp.
You have him... what is going on? Oh, but he didn't have the lamp, remember? Someone took it, because the reason he gets the lamp is because the carpet is trying to save him, but doesn't get in time, but he's able to throw the lamp down strategically.
Yeah. So we get a really stupid slow-mo, him backflipping off a chair.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, horrendous, terribly awkward
Evanescence
scene of him falling into the ocean. It was a very Evanescence music video.
It was Gwen Stefani, an ex-girlfriend, falling out of the window.
Yes. Abu saves him, throws the lamp, riding the carpet.
Yeah.
Genie says it's his second wish. And then we get another weird scene of Jafar, like, it says he's coming back with an army to conquer Agrabah. Oh,
no, the other country or whatever again.
Yeah.
Why? Again.
Yes. But Aladdin, much like the first movie, spots the snake staff thing and smashes it.
It breaks in an even more unusual way in this one.
Yeah. Jafar gets taken away. And this is where Genie, Aladdin and Genie have their little breakup, because he's like, I can't wish you free like I promised. I need you to keep helping me be a prince, whatever.
Yeah. And in this one, they have them have, like, a mutual fight. Like, instead of it being, like, heartbreaking that, Genie got his hopes up and was really connecting with Aladdin and sees what's happened, it's like this weird, like, oh, I see how you are. You're just this kind of person. No, you're this. It's like a break, it was so...
It was a weird breakup.
Necessary, and it was not sad, and it was not heartbreaking. I was so over it. I was so over it.
Agreed.
Is this when she sings her song again?
Maybe. Oh, yeah. Literally, my next note is, no, because, so this is, Jafar manages to get the lamp away from Aladdin, and he wishes to be Sultan. And then Jasmine, that's when Jasmine, my notes literally say Jasmine sings some stupid song.
Oh my God. Yeah. So Jafar steals the lamp and makes himself Sultan, which at least he doesn't, like, the palace doesn't fly into the sky anymore. But I mean, so many other stupid things have happened that they might as well have done that and just made it more exciting. But instead he just gets a new costume and the Sultan's hat disappears. But then Jasmine has a song, because now, like, instead of it being, like, very magical, It's like the only magical thing that's happened is like he has the title of Sultan, but like no one regards him as Sultan. They're just like, oh, well, I guess you're the Sultan now, so I have to listen to you. Like they make it very clear that it's not like, oh, they have to listen to Jafar because he's the Sultan. They're like, oh, they don't want to listen to him, but Jafar's like, I'm the Sultan now. And they're like, oh, well, I guess our hands are tied. We got to kill the Sultan and the princess now.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And then she sings her song again, and it's much longer. And this does not feel like it's in the movie at all. And it totally ruins the song. And while she's singing it, instead of like throughout the whole rest of the effing movie, every song is like made to be happening in the moment. In this one, she's like led away by guards. And as she's singing it, at first, they're reacting to her sing it, which is very weird. Like they're holding her on her arms and walking her away silently, and she's singing, and they're like looking at her like it's weird. So
yeah,
already it's weird. But then they start to magically poof away in purple puffs of weed smoke. Like,
yes.
I was like, what? What? I guess it was supposed to be symbolic, but it was so corny and unnecessary and out of place with the entire rest of the movie. Nothing like this ever happens. The closest thing is Friend Like Me, which is happening because he's a genie. Oh, God. I couldn't wait for it to end. And then, this was so annoying. At the end of it, she says, Hakeem! And he turns around. And she gives this, like, speech about how duty isn't always honor. And how you have to do the right thing. And these are your people. And blah, 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 blah. And then he has a change of heart and decides he's going to arrest Jafar. So there was no. What was the wish? What was the power of Jafar's wish if nothing mattered besides he got a title?
Right. Well, so that's when he wishes to be a sorcerer and says, "You'll cower before a sorcerer." Mm-hmm. He banishes Aladdin to the ends of the earth. He doesn't shoot him off in a tower like he does. He just kind of like poofs him out the window.
Yeah, that was better because at least we knew where he was going. Why he was in snow.
So I will say they gave Jasmine one moment of not being just a damsel in distress when she steals the lamp and leaps off the balcony onto carpet. But then we get a really, really weird scene of her fleeing through Agrabah, being chased by Iago, who Jafar turns into like a pterodactyl-like creature.
Oh, my God. It was like Iago flew through a portal into Final Fantasy VII and became like a mini boss.
Yes.
What was that? His power as a sorcerer. By the way, he's super fucking powerful as a sorcerer in this movie. Like he could decimate just anything.
Right.
Like,
he could just freeze them in flight. Like why did he have to send Iago chasing after them?
Right.
Anyway.
Oh my God. It was so bizarre.
Yeah. Then, much like the first movie, Jafar gets tricked into, not wanting to be second best and wishes for the power of a genie.
But not really. And in this one, he wishes to be the most powerful being in the universe. And the genie kind of insinuates that was like a loophole and made him a genie instead.
Yeah.
It almost
for some reason, it was like the genie's idea to fix the situation. Yeah,
which was strange because it almost felt like they were like, ooh, we're correcting something from the original movie, but I don't think that needed to be corrected.
Agreed.
We get to see him shirtless for a second as the most powerful genie in the universe. For like 3 seconds, we get a CGI version of him without a shirt. So
I know,
but it was nothing because it was just CGI fake.
Yeah,
Jafar abs.
And so we get a boring conclusion to a shitty movie.
They do like a little triptych spin around scene where they're kissing, and then they're later in their relationship, and then they're married, and I wrote Genie, it's not emotional, but oh well.
Yeah, Genie is going to travel the world with Dahlia.
Oh, because he's set free.
That's, we learned that she was the woman on the ship with Will Smith at the beginning, and those are their kids, blah, blah.
Yes. And Jasmine is the first female sultan.
Correct,
and and this is dumb. The sultan goes, you're the new female sultan, you're the new sultan, and now that you're the sultan, you could change whatever law you want. Hey. I would have been like, Dad, why didn't you just change the fucking law?
Honestly.
Asshole.
Yeah. So That's the end of the movie. I have just two pieces of trivia because I already used my third one, which was Jim Carrey was the original choice for Genie. In the Friend Like Me song, both Genie and the Carpet do the Carlton dance from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, that's fun.
And when Aladdin is shown the map, the genie, as you said, kind of bops around. But the map features Disney World locations of Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Adventureland, and the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, that's fun. I did notice Fantasyland at the beginning.
Yeah. That's literally the only interesting trivia about this movie.
Did you ever play the Disney game for Nintendo where you were in the Magic Kingdom and you played all those mini games?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, that was so good. It was so hard. Okay, anyway.
I played like Mickey's Mystery or something like that on like
that was
Sega
good too.
Or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, let's talk ratings.
Okay. Well, IMDb gave it a 6.9.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes, get ready for this. The tomato meter is 57%.
Okay.
The popcorn meter audience meter is 94%.
Here's my theory. Only one person reviewed it, and they're a shill for Disney.
Or maybe they're including ratings from like every like grammar school publication.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like highlights for children.
It's the only acceptable explanation. Because I knew my rating coming into today, and I have decided that this movie is a 2. It is only slightly better than the Power Rangers movie. It is slightly less good than the Bewitched movie. So it's a 2, which puts it for me on par with the original Ocean's 11, the most boring fucking movie I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go low. I don't think quite as low as you. I'm gonna go. What did I give the original? I'm sorry. What did I give the reboot of Beauty and the Beast?
Let's see. The reboot of Beauty and the Beast, you gave a 6.5.
This one gets
which I did too. I don't know why I was so generous to that one.
It was like our first one, I think, too.
Yeah, true.
So we hadn't really regulated yet. Yeah, this is definitely not getting a 6.5. I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay.
I'll give it a 3.5. I liked the costuming a lot.
Yeah, there was some good costuming.
Yeah, I thought it was really pretty. Every time someone came out in something new, I was like, okay. And I really enjoyed like the way they interpreted some of the costumes also. Like I thought that was kind of cool. Despite me wanting Aladdin in a vest the whole time. That was the only thing I'll say
or
about
less.
that.
Could have put him in less.
Amen. And I didn't really mind, like, I think the character of Aladdin, like, he was fine. There was no chemistry between him and Jasmine, but I thought he did okay. Like, I wasn't, like, annoyed by him the whole time, and I wasn't mad at the Jasmine actress either. So,
yeah.
And I loved Dahlia. Every time she said something, basically, it made me laugh. So,
Agreed.
That'll give me the 3.5. But wow, why? Why Will Smith?
Just why this movie? It just felt like such a cash grab.
It didn't. Yeah, it felt long, and it didn't feel like it was passion. It didn't feel like a passion project.
Not at all. It felt like everybody was like, ugh. It felt like the movie that people were like, well, this will make some money, so I'll do it to pay the bills for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next week, we're going to do a little genre switch. We're going to cover the original Swept Away from 1974 and then the reboot with Madonna. So that'll be an exciting trip, I'm sure.
Although, ironically, Guy Pearce directed this, and didn't Guy Pearce direct that?
Oh, did he? He directed this?
He directed Aladdin, yeah.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Oh, sorry, it's Guy Ritchie who directed the...
Oh, yes, Guy Ritchie is the Swept Away.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
It'll be an adventure, I'm sure. I know that...
Wait, I'm sorry, Guy Ritchie also directed Aladdin. I was right.
Oh my gosh, I did not know Guy Ritchie directed Aladdin.
Wait, who's Guy Pearce?
I don't know who Guy Pearce is, but I couldn't even tell you what Guy Ritchie looked like.
Guy Pearce is an Australian actor.
Great.
He was in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, LA Confidential, Memento.
Oh, I love all three of those movies.
He was in the Mildred Pierce miniseries and Mayor of Easttown.
Okay, he's clearly a talented actor. He's in things I like.
Yeah, sorry, I confused Guy Ritchie and Guy Pearce. Apologies.
Well, we won't do it next week.
Guy Ritchie directed this and the reboot of Swept Away, so we'll see how that goes.
I know. I don't know much about Swept Away. I know how it's viewed, so I'm curious to see it.
Yeah.
Swept Away reminds me of that Goldie Hawn movie that also had a reboot. What was it called?
Overboard?
Overboard. We got to do that one time, too.
Watching Madonna act is always kind of like watching a dog use an ATM. You're like, what's happening?
Well, if you want to help us grow, the best thing that you could do is rate and review our podcast on whatever platform you're using right now to listen to our episodes on.
That's right. The second best thing you could do is tell a friend, because word of mouth is huge, and it's the number one reason someone tries a podcast.
Tell someone right now on social media that if you want to hear someone talking about a dog using an ATM compared to Madonna's acting, that they should check out Rebooty Pod. Rebooty Pod is on Instagram. You can email us, rebootypod@gmail.com. We love getting messages from you, and we love your interaction.
Also, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/nandmatt. We have a back catalog of fun content, and we mostly review movies that are not reboots, and sometimes play games. So you should check it out. It's only $5 a month.
Come on now. It's great. Thanks so much for listening to Rebooty and the Beast.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.